Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about something that's super exciting, especially if you're involved in the Tesla world at all, or if you're even on the fence and trying to decide what kind of Tesla to get. As you guys know, I have a Tesla Model Y, but a close competitor to the Model Y ever since its inception. In fact, it came out before the Model Y, was the Model 3. And something that Tesla launched or announced a couple weeks back is something that I think is going to turn the tides on any EV, especially if you were in the market for a Tesla, an EV in general, and you were sort of sitting on the fences trying to decide what you wanted to get. So all this brand new stuff, the brand new specs on the Tesla Model 3 that's going to be coming out here. We're going to talk about all that and a couple other things. So sit back, relax. You guys are watching the Tall Tesla Guy. So jumping right into this, now the Model 3 is not something that's new. The Model 3 came out in 2018 as Tesla's sort of car for everybody, I guess, if you want to say it like that. They had the Model S, they had the Model X, but the Model S and X both capped $100,000 in cost. The Model S was closer to about $70,000 as the base model if you got like the 70D or the 70 version when it first came out. But if you weren't in the budget for a $100,000 vehicle, then you weren't getting a Tesla, essentially. So they came out with the Model 3. The Model 3 was their first one. It was sub 40 when it launched even. It had a rear-wheel drive. It had a dual motor. The rear-wheel drive was a shorter range, 240 miles, I think, somewhere around there, of calculated range. And then they came out with the dual motor long range. It got you about 340 miles of range, which was huge. Huge. Now it is a sedan. It's a four-door car just like this. Now this is a hatchback in the Model Y, but all in all though, the specs of the Model Y were basically robbed from the Model 3. They only lifted the seats up a little bit, added the panoramic glass roof all the way with it, taking away the B-pillar and made it a hatchback. So it is a little bit more spacious in this, but if the space part of it isn't something that you cared about, or you do care about, then the Model 3 was your winner, especially for a Tesla. It was lightning fast. The performance was sub 3 second, 0 to 60. It had well over 300 miles of range, which is huge. Plenty of space for everything you needed to do. And on top of it, it was a Tesla. So you had all the driving enjoyment. Well, what Tesla has done, and if you're familiar with Tesla at all, you know that they don't really have model years. Like you're not going to get the 2020, 2021, 2022, the way that you traditionally do with other automakers, in that they don't change the design of the vehicle much. If you're not looking for it, you're not going to notice the difference between the old headlights and the Matrix headlights. You're not going to notice the difference between, some of the cameras, the repeater cameras that they added to it, a couple of scoops here and there. The majority of what happens to the Teslas between years is the technology in the car, whether it's a full self-driving computer that was put in there to substitute the one that was in the Model S and X of previous to 2018, I think 2017. And then they added a yoke steering wheel option. They changed some color codings if you wanted to, took away the piano black, stuff like that. But those are all real design things on the interior. You're not going to see much on the outside like you do with traditional automakers. Well, however, this Tesla Model 3, now I'm excited about the difference. There's a couple of scoops in it. There's a couple of, styling of the hood and the roof and or the front of the car that wasn't there before. But again, if you're not noticing it, it's not something that you're going to look for. If you're looking at Teslas, you're probably not going to notice the difference between the 3 of past and the 3 of this new one. However, I'll say the exciting part comes from the inside. This is a long-range rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3. And now long range, it's got an 82 kilowatt battery, which is the same as the dual motor Tesla Model 3 regular long range that was dual motor. So this is just the rear-wheel drive, and it's still got that 82 kilowatt battery. So it's going to give you lightning fast charging, which is going to give you about 10% to about 80% in about 20 minutes, which is huge. Now you get a V3 charger, it's going to be even faster, but 10 to 80 is huge. And then on top of that, it gets 360 miles of range. 360 miles is a lot. If you're not calculating it traditionally with, regular internal combustion engines, you don't typically look at the range. I mean, you want to know how much you're going to need until you fill up again. I always looked at that kind of stuff, but it wasn't something in the front of my mind. When I first got my Tesla, range anxiety was a real thing, and it was something that people talked about and something I thought about. However, I quickly realized that Tesla has more than enough range to do anything I need to do. And in reality, if I'm even driving to the office back and forth every day, 5 days a week, I don't need to charge all the time. I can probably make it an entire week without charging. Now, I did plug it in every day at my house because I can. Why not? If you have a gas pump at home, you'd probably fill your car up so you have a fresh tank every morning. And I did that, but you don't have to. You don't need to. In fact, I live in an apartment complex right now, and we didn't until about a month ago have charging capabilities in the parking lot. We just now do, and so I can plug in whenever I want to there, but I was going days without charging, and it was fine. Now 360 miles is more than I get now. It's probably rear-wheel miles, maybe 330, but I get 330 in this Model Y, which is closer to about 290, maybe 300 if I'm not driving too fast. And you get it's more than enough range than I need, and I can only imagine if I had a Model 3 rear-wheel drive single motor that was giving me as much range, if not more, than I'm getting in this Model Y, how huge that would be. But the bigger thing, the caveat to this, is that it's sub 45. Sub 45. Now that's US dollars. It's different in different parts of the world. I know they have import tax and stuff like that, but $45,000 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive, 360 miles. It would qualify for 100% of the EV credits. So it's going to take $7,500 off of it technically, putting it under $40,000 for a brand new rear-wheel drive, lightning fast Tesla Model 3 with 360 miles of range, which is huge, 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 huge. And this is coming up on the official sort of launch of the Cybertruck. They've actually retooled the factory. Everything is ready to go. They're producing, not to scale, but sort of, I guess, mock-ups of the Cybertruck. I haven't seen any in the wild. I haven't seen any videos of any in the wild, but my guess is that this Model 3 is going to outsell any other Model 3, maybe not the Model Y, which is a global leader in EV sales, by the way. But I think this new Model 3 is going to certainly outsell the previous Model 3, probably the Model Y. And then at that, it's gonna turn people back onto Tesla. Anybody that hadn't realized it, or maybe put in their Cybertruck reservation years ago, and they never ended up pulling the trigger on it. But maybe actually get them into launching the Cybertruck and producing it. Now that's another video in itself, but yeah, this brand new Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive long-range edition is huge. 360 miles of range is going to be more than any other EV out there. Now I know they make the Polestar is 380. I know the Lucid Air Dreamliner is close to 500. The Model S, but I say production for everybody vehicle. You're not going to find a single other production for everybody vehicle in the EV space that comes even close to the 360 miles of range that you're going to get from this rear-wheel drive long-range Tesla Model 3. And there's even some design differences on the outside too. So this is huge, 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 super exciting stuff. And I don't know. I guess time will tell how soon it's going to get here, but I'm guessing by the end of the year. So either way, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching the video. It's exciting stuff coming up on the horizon. Tesla blowing out their projection numbers, blowing out their speculations, and now the stock is going crazy again too. So if you're in that space, but either way, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month so far, maybe kicking into the summer months, and that you're staying safe out there. Thanks a lot, everybody.